of all, let's talk about our winners. We haven't talked about our week 6 winners yet, so I'm just going to talk about those. Those that earned all their points for week 6 was Tara Tucker, Jonathan Webb, Braden and Paula Richmond, and Mitzi Joseph. So that's pretty nice. It's pretty tough to get all of your points through the week. Did you find that out? Yeah. Every week is pretty hard. And then the team winners for week 6, our top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The unrepentant thinners continue to stay at the top. Good job. The master chargers, the elector elevators, Pueblo, and Team X, and then bringing sexy back.
Who is that? I'd like to know that one. That's a little fun, right? I think there's somebody else there.
No, that's Tara and Lane Tucker and Kristen and DJ. Don't tell me I told you that. Oh wait, I just recorded it. Never mind. Oh well. So great job. It's been a little challenging this time around to get all our points.
You
what
put
was
that screen time on there.
Was that the hardest one for everybody? Was the screen time?
Yes. I think the bad time was us when that flu was going around, and then our kids got it. So basically, she was taking care of kids, and I got it. And then
hold them.
That's true. And the screen time has tended to be really hard, especially in the winter. So what I want you to think about, because now that we're through with that first challenge, of course we want you to stay active, right? And we want you to keep drinking your water. And what was the other one?
Screen time.
Meditation, thanks. And we want you to keep taking that time out for yourself. On the screen time, we want to debrief just a little bit. So, is it feasible for you to do 2 hours of screen time every day? Can you do that forever?
not in the winter.
I think if you don't count like Young Women's or your work or something like that, you know.
But it gets tough, right? So the purpose of the limiting screen time is to make sure that we're not just sitting for hours on end watching TV or playing video games or on social media.
Well, if we live by ourselves, it's kind of hard not.
It is a little bit hard, but that's kind of what we're trying. That's what we're trying to avoid. So, if your screen time is interfering with you being active, then we need to limit. If it's a time where you're sitting down and you're relaxing, or watching a Hallmark.
That was my biggest problem.
That was. It was mine too, Ray. But I mean, if it's or maybe you're doing some computer work that's constructive. So maybe you don't want to count that as your screen time. If you're doing some social media that maybe is affecting you negatively, or you're playing video games and you forget to eat, that might be a cause to limit your screen time. So my suggestion is to look at your screen time and just analyze it and decide what is most healthy for you individually. It may not be just the 2 hours. Excuse me, there may be times when you need to sit down and just do nothing to relax. Just don't let it interfere. And remember, the recommendation right now is that you should not be sitting for more than about 60 minutes at a time. So every hour you should be getting up and moving. So if you're if you're binge watching on Netflix, you can forget to get up and move, and that's.
You're drinking 64 ounces of water a day.
Then you are doing that.
Yeah, you don't have to sleep for an hour, do you?
Good point. Good point. So I just kind of wanted to clarify that. Keep doing what we've asked you to do, but adjust it to your lifestyle and what your healthy needs are. So let's talk about winners. Let's talk about winners for the first time. So our number 1 individual winners for the first challenge. They are Paula and Sean. They tied for first, and they only missed a few points. Let me think. 2 points, I think, the whole time. 2 points the whole time. That's pretty impressive. And then we had 2 people that tied for second, and that was Jonathan and Braden. they were only 1 point behind, or, yeah, they were only 1 point behind them. And then Venity comes in next. And to round out our top 10, Tara Tucker, Richard McMasters, Mitzi Joseph, Shelley Brown, and Kaylee Roberts. So give everyone a hand. So for our individual winners, we have, these are nice little neck warmers so that you can continue to stay active outside. And they're super warm. Super warm, so congratulations. You can wear them for work. And the yeah. And then let's talk about our team winners. I will start at the bottom of the team winners and work her way up. So these are total of the averages per week. So the goal setters had 93 points. The misfits had 116.
Are the misfits in Milford?
No, the misfits are Tara Tucker's family, her parents and her sister. The lean queens had 125. The Puebla, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, had 133. And these are all pretty close. The Bringing Sexy Back team had 136. Team X with 137. In third place, we have the Master Chargers with 142. And tell me if I say this right, Shelley, the Elector
Elevators.
Allocator Elevators. Okay.
Wow. Tell us the story.
Yeah, they're not willing to share the meaning with us. They had 142, and the Unrepentant Thinners had 153. First place team. So give yourselves a hand. And for our team winners, so these are a new sports drink out. They're similar to Gatorade. So they're used as a sports replacement if you're working out. The ones that are light only have 20 calories per serving. Now there's 2 servings in here, so it's 40 calories, but it's pretty good. And there's only 3 grams of sugar. So it's really healthy.
Guess it depends how big it is.
Sometimes. In general, a half a banana is a serving, but it might not be a full cup, if that makes sense.
Just buy the big ones, Mark.
Costco bananas.
So if you want to just cut them up and make sure you're getting your cups, that really is the easiest part. Get out those measuring cups. You might be surprised at what a cup is for some veggies. Like a cup of peas seems like it's quite a lot when you fill it up and put it on your plate. So just kind of branch out and figure out what works for you guys. But I just had a couple tips for getting more fruits and vegetables. So the first thing you can do is snack smart. So instead of snacking on your chips and your cookies, replace these things with your healthy alternatives of your fruits and your vegetables. So if you just have them on hand, it makes it easy to grab, and you can have those healthy snacks, and they're low in calories as well. So it's a great alternative for your high calorie, non-nutrient dense foods. So leave your fruits and vegetables inside. I like to do this at my house. If I buy a package of grapes and I put it in the fridge, nobody eats them. But if I take them all off the vine and put a bowl on the counter, they're like gone in 2 days. So it's just the things that you're going in your kitchen. If you're feeling hungry, you'll just grab a handful of grapes or something like that. You could do apples or oranges. Just leave them in sight so that you can grab them as you're hungry and for your snacks as well. Make sure you're planning ahead. It's hard to get your fruits and vegetables if you haven't been to the store to go buy them. So make sure you plan ahead and make sure that you have those things available at your house. And remember, they can be in any form. You could And mix it up too. Do canned, do frozen, do your fresh. Mix it up so that you get a big variety. Double it up. This is one time that getting seconds of something is a really good thing. So if you feel like you're more hungry, double up on your fruits and vegetables because those things do have that fiber in it and they are going to fill you up. But they are still low in calories, so you're not getting as many calories as if you were to double up on like your meats. So you can double up and remember to fill half your plate full of fruits and vegetables each time you're eating, and that will really help with that.
What's that, avocado, is that a fruit or a vegetable?
A vegetable. It's hard. It's the way it's grown is a fruit.
Tomato.
But yeah, it's the same thing like a tomato. I like to think of avocados as vegetables,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
but I don't know. You can decide that for yourself.
You can count it as either one.
You can count it as either one. That's fine.
Yeah, Google it, I
The
guess.
next thing was just sneak it in. You can sneak vegetables in a lot of different things. I was just watching this thing right before I came where somebody was making some spaghetti sauce and her kids were really picky eaters, so she sauteed a lot of vegetables. She had like zucchini and mushrooms and onions and all sorts of vegetables, and then she just blended it up with the tomato, the pasta sauce, and her kids didn't even know the difference. So you can sneak your vegetables in that way, and you really can't taste them that way. And smoothies are a great way to do this with your spinach to get some extra vegetables in. You can always throw some spinach in with your smoothies and blend it up and you can't even taste it. So it's a great way to get some extra vegetables in. And then if you don't want to do the work, let somebody else do the work. There's lots of things that you can buy already pre-cut, and like there's salad kits, there's already like pre-cut vegetable bags of vegetables at the store. So if you don't want to do the work, then you can buy those and make it easy on yourself and still have the healthy things available for yourself.
It says your things are easy.
It always.
Yeah, it always says that. But does anybody else have any tips or tricks that they like to do to get their fruits and vegetables in? This one tends to be mashed cauliflower.
I just love them.
Avocado's a fruit.
It's fruit.
My favorite two fruits.
So if nobody else has any tips or tricks that they would like to share, then I just really encourage you to work on this one a lot. This is the part where we don't want to be adding our fruits and vegetables to what we're already eating, but replace some of the things you're eating. So some of the unhealthy things you're eating, like your sweets, some chips, replace those with your fruits and vegetables, and you're really going to see a difference in yourself and in your diet to get those healthier things in. So does anybody else have any questions? Yeah.
So on the hours of sleep, is that consecutive, like,
You'll have to
or
ask Cindy
nap,
that
is
one.
that added to the?
It should be
See,
consecutive.
should be
everybody's gonna have a
consecutive.
hard time with the sleep.
I am.
She gets
I'm
up
like
at
good to
4:30 and
get
goes to
four,
exercise
maybe
at 5.
if I'm lucky.
That
She's
makes
gonna
it
have to go
hard.
to bed early.
Just go to bed earlier, so it's not like stick a nap in there somewhere, probably not. Huh?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same qualities.
True.
I know I'll never
Oh,
get
one thing I did
100%
forget,
in the
sorry,
next
before
sleep.
Cindy
This
goes.
is sleep thing.
I do have these smoothie little recipe books if anyone would like one. I will pass them around real fast, and they're just full of lots of different smoothie ideas. So
I have a personal
Okay, so we're gonna go to the exercise part a little bit. And we're gonna talk about, so this first challenge, we did 30 minutes of physical activity. The second challenge, we're gonna do 30 minutes of exercise. Now, how is that different? It's definitely different. So physical activity is anything we do to move our body. I mean, I could come in here and set up tables and chairs and count it as part of my physical activity, right? Because I was moving, and that's completely okay. But exercise refers to something that is planned and structured, something that's repetitive, and it really has the purpose of improving your fitness level. staying active is kind of keeping me going and stuff, but exercise is, I'm gonna try and improve my fitness level. So we really want you to plan out your exercise. How many of you have a hard time deciding what you're gonna do for exercise every day? No? You pretty much know what you're gonna do? You've got a plan?
I just show up at 5 o'clock and do whatever Amy and Sarah's doing.
Perfect.
That's it.
Get a support group, that's great.
It does
So-
help. Somebody else.
So really, my picture's in the wrong place, I couldn't get it moved right. So really, it's gonna depend on a lot of different factors, what your exercise program's gonna look like. It's gonna depend on your age, what you're interested in. If I set up an exercise plan to go swimming every day and I can't swim, am I gonna be very effective? Not at all, right? Or if I think I wanna run, cause I kind of think I should be a runner and I'm really not, cause I don't like to do it. But I like to do other things. And then what are your goals? Are you trying to get fit? Are you trying to lose weight? What kind of goals do you have is going to determine. And then do you have any physical issues that are going to affect what you can do? Some of us that are getting a little older might have to modify some of the things we're doing. Doesn't mean we can't continue to be active, but we probably can't do the same thing as we could do when we were 18, right? Maybe some of you can. But here's some components of a workout that you really need. Fit, so frequency, and that's how many times a week you're going to exercise. Intensity, this is how hard you're going to work during your exercise period. And time is for how long you're going to exercise, and then what type of exercise you're gonna do. These are the 3 basic exercises that we want to incorporate into our workouts. How many of you do cardio exercise on a regular basis? What do you do for cardio? Walk? What else? Cross country ski, definitely cardio.
I shoveled snow today.
I did too, actually, out here for a minute, it was good for me.
That's about an everyday thing for me.
Yeah, so cardio, so we need to include cardio, how many times a week? 3 to 4. Weight training, how many include weight training into your workout? What do you do for weight training?
Down to the gym, lift weights and follow a workout program.
Yeah, so how many of you don't wanna go to the gym and lift weights? So what are you gonna do for weight training?
Get you a jug of milk.
Yeah, get your jug of milk or your cans, right? Any kind of those body exercises. And then we're really gonna key on stretching because when we did our evaluations, we measured your flexibility, right? And so now we're gonna add 10 minutes to that. So let's talk about cardio first. How do we know how hard we're working when we talk about cardio?
Heart rate.
So if you have a smartwatch or a phone or anything that can monitor heart rate, that's what we're gonna use. So you can look at what your maximum heart rate is on this side here, and that means your heart rate should never go over that. You shouldn't be working to that. I know it's kind of hard to see. And then your target heart rate zone, that's what you want to be training in order to improve your cardiovascular fitness. For example, if you're 45 years old, your target heart rate is somewhere between 88 and 149. Can you see that? Do you need me to read off?
So the average just means,
That target heart rate, that's 50 to 85% of your maximum, and that's where you should be working in order to get cardiovascular workout. So if you want to write that down, and then I have another paper I'll hand you in a minute.
Say that again.
The pens are there. So this is where you want to work out. If you're 35 years old, you want your heart rate to be between 93 and 157.
What was 45 again?
45 is 88 to 149. Anybody need me to read another one out there for you? If you don't measure your heart rate, how are you gonna figure out if you're low, moderate, or vigorous intensity? You can use the talk test. So if you're low intensity, that might mean you're just going for a walk and you can have a great conversation with whoever you're with. If I'm doing yoga, that's probably low intensity most of the time because I can talk. Yeah, except when I'm in downward dog and my arms are going like this, right? Moderate in intensity means that you can talk and visit, but you probably can't sing. You don't quite have enough air in your lung
Some of us
capacity.
can't sing anyway.
Well, true. High intensity means that you're pretty breathless and you can only say a few words along the way. So, what level do you want to work at? It depends on what your goals are, right? If you work at the higher intensity, you're going to improve cardiovascular fitness and you're going to be burning more calories. Do we want to work at high intensity all the time? Probably not all of the time, because we want to rest our bodies sometimes too. So, questions about that? Does that kind of make sense? There is a formula to figure out your target heart rate using your resting heart rate and things like that, but these are pretty good averages here. So when you figure out what you want to do for cardio, you want to make sure you're working in that intensity. Because I have a lot of people say, well, I've been doing this and I'm not seeing any improvement. Well, maybe you're not working hard enough. Maybe your heart rate's not where it should be. So that's why it's important to know where it should be. Weight training. So some examples, lifting weights, any kind of weights. Like you say, if it's the gallon jugs of milk or the cans or whatever, using resistance bands. And you can buy those with handles and they have that resistance and you can do those at home, you can do them at your office. They can work legs and arms both. They're pretty easy to use. Using your body weight, doing push-ups and sit-ups, lunges, squats, wall sits, anything like that. Or go to the weight room and use those machines. Use the machines or the free weights, either one. And it's important to do weight training 2 to 3 times a week. The other thing that's important there is if I work my legs on Tuesday, I shouldn't work them on Wednesday. They need about 48 hours worth of recovery, because when you're lifting weights, what you're actually doing is breaking down muscle, and then you need to give them at least 48 hours to rebuild. If I do legs and arms on Tuesday, then I probably should wait until Thursday to do that. If I do legs on Tuesday, I can do arms on Wednesday. But don't do them back to back. Give them at least 48 hours. That's why they say 2 to 3 days a week on that. Flexibility and why it's important with our stretching. Why do we do that? We want to move through the full range of motion. How many of you have shoulder problems and you have a hard time moving them now because you can't get them through that range of motion? Or knees or ankles. And the older you get, the harder that becomes. So we want to keep that flexibility. Because if we don't, then when we're doing some exercises, we tend to do them incorrectly. And then we may have some overuse injuries. So we want to go through that full range of motion. Here are some benefits of doing stretching and being flexible. Anybody have back pain? Yeah, stretching is huge for back pain. Huge. And this last one, I think it feels really good. I really liked this stretching challenge because it feels really good when you get through. It gets rid of some of your muscle soreness and keeps you able to move, because when we quit doing some things that we've been doing all along, what happens? Then we tend to not be able to do them. So we want to keep doing those for as long as we can. So these are just some basic benefits. So what are some guidelines for stretching? Because your challenge is to do 30 minutes of exercise plus 10 minutes of stretching. Are you going to do that stretching before you exercise or after?
Both. In the middle.
So it says stretch the muscles you work during your workout, and it says stretch them after your workout. So when most of us were growing up, you had to warm up and stretch out before. That now they say don't do that. You don't need to do that. You do need to warm up with, a little bit of a walk or some movement, but you do not want to stretch muscles that are cold. You want to wait. So when you work out, then your muscles start to warm up. So during your exercises or at the end of your exercises. Anytime throughout the day, you can stop in the middle and just, I sit at my desk a lot. I get up, wandering around, and I'm like, I gotta go stretch. Gotta go do a few stretches, just anytime throughout the day. When you do your stretching, tend to hold it for 15 to 30 seconds at least. It's not just, oh, I need to stretch. Oh, okay, I'm done. Okay, you really stretch, because you stretch and then you're working those muscles and you'll feel like they're elongated. And don't bounce. That was typical a lot of years ago too. Oh, if I'm gonna bend over and I'm gonna do my stretches, I'm gonna bounce and bounce, and that's really not good for your muscles. It can cause injury. One of the tips and tricks, which isn't on here for stretching, is if you stretch and breathe at the same time, it's gonna make a huge difference. So everybody stand up for just a minute. And we're just gonna do a simple, and stretching shouldn't hurt. You shouldn't go that far. So you're just gonna bend over and try to touch your toes, and you're gonna go really slowly. You're just gonna bend over and stay in that position just where you can get, just where it feels really comfortable. You're not even pushing yourself. Then what I want you to do is take a big deep breath, and when you exhale, I want you to see if you can reach down further. So take a big deep breath, and then reach. Did you go significantly further?
Yeah.
So breathing, when you stretch, can make a huge difference. So take that big deep breath on the exhale, reach further. It just surprises me how much further you can go on most of that. I want you to look at this workout schedule, because remember the difference between physical activity and exercise is that it's planned. So I want you to plan something out. So I've just done a little sample workout schedule.
I can do it. You're gonna give it to just
So we're using frequency, and how many times a week are you going to exercise? 6, right? Because that's what we said. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So on the back, that's already filled in for you. You're gonna fill in on the back. The intensity, we're gonna try to decide what kind of intensity. If you look at the sample one, so I decided to do the elliptical on Tuesday. And I want to work out at a vigorous level, on Monday. I want to work out at a vigorous level, so this is where I want my heart rate to be. I'm gonna do it for 30 minutes. That's the time, and it's a cardio. On Tuesday, I'm gonna do the same thing, except I'm gonna do Zumba instead of the elliptical. But I still want my heart rate to be where it should be. On Wednesday, I'm gonna do some strength training. I'm gonna go to the weight room and I'm gonna do the circuits. And I'm gonna do 3 sets of 15 reps. Do you understand what that means? So I'm gonna go to one machine and I'm going to do curl-ups like this, and I'm gonna do 15 of them. And then I'm gonna go through the whole other rest of the circuit, and then I'm gonna come back and do that 3 different times. When you do weight training or strength training, you should lift however many reps it takes you until you almost can't do that last one. So if your weights are too light and you're like, oh, I'm up to 43. Your weights are probably way too light, right? But you want to get to 12 or 15 and you're like, okay, I can't get that last one. I'm working. Because you want to fatigue your muscles. And you don't, you can choose how many you want to do. 12 or 15 is kind of a typical, but you can do 20 or so if you'd like. And then for the repetitions, and then you can do however many sets. But you should do 2 or 3 sets as you go through. So if I'm doing lunges or wall sits, I'm gonna do lunges for, I don't know, I might count them. And then take a minute, and then I'll do wall sits for 30 seconds. And then I'll do push-ups, I'll do however until I can't.
It's when you stand and you sit and
Yeah.
look up against the wall.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you're kind of
Just
sitting
making sure.
against the wall. Paula wants to do it for you. Let's see if we can do that for the rest of the time. No, let's not.
Same you.
Yeah. And then I want to do my sit-ups, and then I want to go back through that whole thing again. So that's 1 set of however many repetitions. And then on Thursday, I'm going back to the elliptical. And I want to do it vigorous again, so I want that to where my heart rate's where it should be.
What is a plank exercise? I have no idea.
Oh, we're gonna find out.
Oh, yay.
And Janice is gonna demonstrate for us.
That's like so crazy.
And then on Friday, I kind of want to do something a little different to give my body a little bit of break. So I'm going to do yoga, and this is a low intensity exercise. I'm not going to get, my watch isn't going to say, oh, you've just exercised, because my heart rate hasn't really increased, and I'm not getting any steps. But I can still do that for 30 minutes. And I'm going to watch a YouTube video. And if you have a hard time deciding what kind of exercises to do, just search on YouTube. You can find almost anything for free. Make sure it kind of has the right components, but you'll be able to find the ones that you like. And then on Saturday, I'm not going to the weight room. I'm just going to do my lunges and my squats and stuff. And I'm going to do 3 sets of 15 reps. So do you see how that works? So turn yours over on the back and decide. Remember, the recommendation is the time. So everybody except Jonathan gets to put 30 minutes in that time. Jonathan has to do 60 minutes a day. But he doesn't have any trouble because he gets all his points all the time. So on the time, put 30 minutes except for Jonathan.
Hey, that's one good thing about getting older, y'all.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then if you want to decide on your types of exercise, like Braden's going skiing on Friday, for example. He wants to ski every single Friday. That might not happen. But you might want to plan out each week. So is that a cardio or a weight training or a stretching exercise?
Cardio and strength.
Yeah, mostly cardio probably. So he can put that I'm going to do cardio, and his 30 minutes might just be 10 minutes at a time, right? And he's probably going to do more than 30, but he's still going to get his cardio in. And it might be moderate rather than vigorous, depending on your heart rate. So I want you to decide how many days you're going to do cardio, or which days you're going to do cardio, and which days you're going to do weightlifting, and how many times you're going to do it. So plan it out so you'll know. Then do your 10 minutes of stretching. I don't know if it'll be fun or not. So this middle picture, they're in a plank. So the ones on the side, they're on their hands, but we're going to go on our elbows, our forearms. So this plank challenge, go ahead and pass that around. This is just something extra if you want to try it. You don't have to, but I thought maybe it'd be fun to work on it for 6 weeks and then come back at the end of 6 weeks and let's see how much progress we've made. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get into the plank position, which you're on your toes and your elbows. And you're going to try and hold that plank position for 60 seconds. Now that doesn't sound like very much. But after about 15, your arms and your legs are starting to shake, right? Unless you're in really good core straight. Then after your 60 seconds, you're going to lift just one arm off the ground, your right arm off the ground for 15 seconds. Then you're going to lift your left arm. Then you're going to try your right leg and your left leg. And then you're going to do right arm, left leg, and left arm, right leg. And this is tough. This isn't something you guys are just going to be able, well, maybe you will. Will you be able to go home and do it?
No.
I want to know. Send me an email if you go home and you can do it right off the bat. Okay?
The bigger you are, I'm sure the harder it
Yeah,
is.
not a problem.
Y'all see?
It's all about core strength. And it's really important to get your core strength.
Is it?
And if you notice when you're lifting one hand and one leg, you're going to work on balance. So this is, if you want to try it, do this 3 or 4 times a week. Like on mine, I put that I'm going to do it 4 times a week, and I'm going to do it 2 times on each day. Just going to try it 2 times. Kaylee and I were in here trying it out to see how hard it was. It's pretty dang hard. I can't do the 60 seconds yet of just a regular plank, but I could almost do 15 with one arm off the.
When I used to work out with Michelle, when she had that,
Mm-hmm.
we had to do it for 2 minutes.
Yeah, and
It's tough.
it's tough. I mean, it looks easy and it sounds easy, but it's tough. So, and then if you have if you need to modify it a little bit, if you can't do a plank at all, go down to your knees instead of your toes to start with. So this is all about progress. Kind of see where you're at right now, and then we'll kind of test everybody at the end if you're interested.
I wasn't gonna ask.
Are you supposed to do it consecutively, like
Yes,
in a minute, you go into the 15 seconds?
right. You have to just,
No breaks?
no breaks, just follow this through. Did you guys get your paper? Yeah. So grab a paper, stand up, we'll walk through this. And really, if you do this, it's gonna take you almost your 10 minutes. And it's pretty much total body, and it's only 8 exercises. So the first one is the quad stretch. And if you need to hold on to a table or something like that, you're gonna hold on to a table and you're just gonna reach back and pull that foot up. You should feel it right here in the front of your leg. You wanna keep your knees close together, and you wanna see if you can get your foot to come clear up. And
I
stand
can
up,
get my foot there, but I can't like.
stand up really straight and tall. And how long are we gonna hold this for? 30 seconds.
Oh, heavens.
Yeah,
30 now.
Seems like
15 to 30, but you really need to hold it for about 30. And then you're gonna switch legs. And if you do it without your table or your chair, you can work on your balance at the same time.
Yeah, I know, I can't.
And sometimes I can really do
I'm
well.
like holding my chair 'cause I can't balance.
Yeah. And like I say, try to keep your knees close together and stand up, keep your torso up high. And that will stretch out right through here, your quadriceps. Okay, so that's your first one. Your next one is your standing hamstring stretch. So put your left foot forward, and then you tip from the hips, and you just lean forward, and you try to keep your back straight. I don't know how straight my back is, so don't look at me. Keep your back straight, and you just want to bend over. Remember, stretching's not supposed to really hurt. You're going to feel it pulling a little bit in the back of your hamstring. And you can just put your hand down on your knees or your legs if you want, and you're going to stretch that out for your 30 seconds. And you're going to switch sides. Always do the other side. You don't want to be unbalanced, right? And stretch. And if this takes you less than your 10 minutes, just go back and do them again. Or you can add something else to them. These are just suggestions. So this chest or shoulder stretch, sit or stand, we'll just stand. Clasp your hands together behind your back, arms straight. And this is stretching out this part of your chest right here. We tend to hunch over our computers a lot and our phones. And then you pull your arms up like this. You want your shoulders to go back. Your shoulders to go back. Does that make sense? And that's a really great one. Upper back stretch. Clasp your hands together in front of you and round your back, pressing your arms away from your body. So you want them out in front of you like this, and then you're going to really hunch over. Pull those out. Does that feel good or not?
Right in the middle.
I think it does. I think it feels good. Let's see, I think it feels good. And we're not going for 30 seconds right now, but we're just working. Then on the back, this is a bicep stretch. This is one that I had never done before. So you're going to put your hands out like this with your thumbs up. And then you're going to turn and kind of push back. Okay, and I could really feel, isn't that different? Yeah. And then you can bring it forward and do it again and do it for your 30 seconds. But this is stretching biceps right here. That's a really good stretch. And it's a new one.
What's
For
a
me.
good one for this?
Oh, we're there, we're almost there. Your shoulder stretch. Take your right arm and straight across your chest, and then with your left hand, this is a typical one you see all the time. I used to not be able to even feel that stretch there, but sometimes we get so our shoulders clear up by our ears.
You know where I feel it most is right here.
Yeah, it should be right back through here. But if your shoulders clear up by your chin, bring it down.
Am I doing something?
Keep your shoulders down. That's the important thing on this one, is keep your shoulder down. And then switch sides. So this is kind of targeting all those areas. The seated side stretch. Oh, you can do this standing up too. So you're just going to reach up like this. You're going to put your feet about shoulder width apart, and you're just going to tip. And you're doing your side. And do you see how these are just really simple you're not making these great big movements, but you'll be surprised if you do this every day, how much better you will get. 10 minutes every day will really improve your flexibility. Triceps, and these are the ones she was asking about right here. That's this one that you go in the back, and then you're just gonna reach over and gently pull your elbow. Gently pull your elbow. And that's your tricep. So those are all the major muscle groups. All the major muscle groups. And if you go out and you do some exercise and your muscles are starting to feel sore a little bit, stretching is one of the very best ways to get rid of that muscle soreness. So are those pretty simple? You can follow through. Again, if you forget how to do them, you can just jump online and lift those up. And so what I want you to do with your exercise, your workout program is plan out what you're gonna do for the week so that you know which exercises you're gonna do and what you're trying to target. Our hour is up, so just a couple of things, the 4 hours. Remember to record your points every day. Read your emails, watch little videos if you get a chance. There's a lot of good information there. Report your scores on Monday, right? And then you get your $5 rebate. So if you earned your rebate, stay tonight and I will get you those. And